Hello children, how are you? I hope you all are fit and fine. Well, I'm Satinder Kaur and today I'll be taking up lesson 5 of geography for class 6 and the name of the lesson is Major Domains of the Earth. Children, you all know that the Earth is the only planet which has life. Human beings can live here because the life-sustaining elements like land, water and air are present on the earth. The surface of the earth is a complex zone which comprises of 4 main components, that is lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere and biosphere. In this lesson, we shall talk about these components in detail. So, let's start with lithosphere. Lithos is a Greek word meaning stone. Lithosphere is the solid portion of the earth. It comprises the rocks of the earth's crust and the thin layers of soil that contain nutrient elements which sustain organisms. There are two main divisions of the Earth's surface. The large land masses are known as the continents and the huge water bodies are called the ocean basins. All the oceans of the world are connected with one another. Look at the map of the world. Are all the land masses connected with one another? No. The level of sea water remains the same everywhere. Elevation of land is measured from the level of the sea, which is taken as 0. The highest mountain peak, Mount Everest, is 8,848 meters above the sea level. The greatest depth of 11,022 meters is recorded at Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean. Could you imagine that depth of sea is much more than the highest point? Now let's move further and talk about various continents. There are 7 major continents. These are separated by large water bodies. These continents are Asia, Europe, Africa, North America, South America, Australia and Antarctica. Look at the map of the world and notice that the greater part of the land mass lies in the northern hemisphere. Asia is the largest continent. It covers about 1/3 of the total land area of the earth. The continent lies in the eastern hemisphere. The Tropic of Cancer passes through this continent. Asia is separated from Europe by the Ural Mountains on the west. The combined landmass of Europe and Asia is called Eurasia. Next we have Europe. Europe is much smaller than Asia. The continent lies to the west of Asia. The Arctic Circle passes through it. It is bound by water bodies on 3 sides. Look at the map of the world and locate it. It is here. Next we have Africa, which is the second largest continent after Asia. The equator or 0-degree latitude runs almost through the middle of the continent. A large part of Africa lies in the northern hemisphere. It is the only continent through which the Tropic of Cancer, the equator and the Tropic of Capricorn pass. The Sahara Desert, the world's largest hot desert, is located in Africa. The continent is bound on all sides by oceans and seas. Look at the world map again. You will notice that the world's longest river, the Nile, flows through Africa. Notice where the equator, the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn pass in the map of Africa. Now let's talk about North America, which is the 3rd largest continent of the world. It is linked to South America by a very narrow strip of land called the Isthmus of Panama. The continent lies completely in the northern and western hemisphere. 3 oceans surround this continent. Can you name these oceans? Now let's move ahead and talk about South America. South America lies mostly in the southern hemisphere. Which two oceans surround it on the east and the west? Can you find out? The Andes, world's longest mountain range, runs through its length from north to south. South America has the world's largest river, the Amazon. Australia is the smallest continent that lies entirely in the southern hemisphere. It is surrounded on all sides by the oceans and seas. It is called an island continent. Now we'll talk about Antarctica, which is completely in the southern hemisphere. It is a huge continent. The South Pole lies almost at the center of this continent. As it is located in the South Polar region, it is permanently covered with thick ice sheets. There are no permanent human settlements. Many countries have research stations in Antarctica. India also has research stations there. These are named as Maitri and Dakshin Gangotri. So children, that was all about lithosphere. Now let's talk about hydrosphere. The word is derived from Greek word hudor, meaning water. The earth is called the blue planet. You all know that because more than 71% of the earth is covered with water and 29% is with land. Hydrosphere consists of water in all its forms, as running water in oceans and rivers and in lakes, ice in glaciers, underground water and the water vapor in atmosphere all comprise the hydrosphere. More than 97% of the Earth's water is found in the oceans and is too salty for human use. A large proportion of the rest of the water is in the form of ice sheets and glaciers or under the ground, and a very small percentage is available as fresh water for human use. Hence, despite being a blue planet, we face a shortage of water. Now let's talk about the oceans. Oceans are the major part of hydrosphere. They are all interconnected. The ocean waters are always moving. The three chief movements of ocean waters are the waves, the tides and the ocean currents. The five major oceans are the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean, the Southern Ocean and the Arctic Ocean in order of their size. The Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean. It is spread over 1/3 of the earth. Mariana Trench, the deepest part of the earth, lies in the Pacific Ocean. The Pacific Ocean is almost circular in shape. Asia, Australia, North and South Americas surround it. Look at the map and find out the location of the continents around the Pacific Ocean. The Atlantic Ocean is the second largest ocean in the world. It is S-shaped. It is flanked by the North and South Americas on the western side and Europe and Africa on the eastern side. The coastline of Atlantic Ocean is highly indented. This irregular and indented coastline provides ideal location for natural harbors and ports. From the point of view of commerce, it is the busiest ocean. The Indian Ocean is the only ocean named after a country, that is India. The shape of the ocean is almost triangular. In the north, it is bound by Asia, in the west by Africa and in the east by Australia. The Southern Ocean encircles the continent of Antarctica and extends northward to 60 degrees south latitude. The Arctic Ocean is located within the Arctic Circle and surrounds the North Pole. It is connected with the Pacific Ocean by a narrow stretch of shallow water known as Bering Strait. It is bound by northern coasts of North America and Eurasia. Now let's talk about atmosphere. The word atmos is a Greek word which means vapor. The earth is surrounded by a layer of gas called the atmosphere. This thin blanket of air is an integral and important aspect of the planet. It provides us with the air we breathe and protects us from the harmful effect of sun's rays. The atmosphere is divided into 5 layers based on composition, temperature and other properties. These layers starting from Earth's surface are called the troposphere, the stratosphere, the mesosphere, the thermosphere and the exosphere. The atmosphere is composed mainly of nitrogen and oxygen, which make up about 99% of clean dry air. Nitrogen 78%, oxygen 21% and other gases like carbon dioxide, argon and others comprise 1% by volume. Oxygen is the breath of life, while nitrogen helps in the growth of living organisms. Carbon dioxide, though present in minute amount, is important as it absorbs heat radiated by the earth, thereby keeping the planet warm. It is also essential for the growth of plants. The density of the atmosphere varies with height. It is maximum at the sea level and decreases rapidly as we go up. You know, the climbers experience problems in breathing due to this decrease in the density of air. They have to carry with them oxygen cylinders to be able to breathe at high altitudes. The temperature also decreases as we go upwards. The atmosphere exerts pressure on the earth. This varies from place to place. Some areas experience high pressure and some areas low pressure. Air moves from high pressure to low pressure. Moving air is known as wind. Now let's move ahead and talk about the domain of life, that is the biosphere. Bios means life. The biosphere is the narrow zone of contact between the land, water and air. It is in this zone that life that is unique to this planet exists. There are several species of organisms that vary in size from microbes and bacteria to huge mammals. All the living organisms, including humans, are linked to each other and to the biosphere for survival. The organisms in the biosphere may broadly be divided into the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom. The 3 domains of the earth interact with each other and affect each other in some way or the other. For example, cutting of forests for fulfilling our needs of wood or clearing land for agriculture may lead to fast removal of soil from slopes. Similarly, Earth's surface may be changed due to natural calamities like earthquakes. For example, there could be submergence of land as happened in the case of tsunami recently. Parts of Andaman and Nicobar Islands were submerged underwater. Discharge of waste material into lakes and rivers makes the water unsuitable for human use. It also damages other forms of life. Emission from industries, thermal power plants and vehicles pollute the air. Carbon dioxide is an important constituent of air. But increase in the amount of carbon dioxide leads to increase in global temperatures. This is termed as global warming. There is thus a need to limit the use of resources of the earth to maintain the balance of nature between the domains of the lithosphere, the atmosphere and the hydrosphere. That was all about the lesson, children. Now it's time to take up some questions related to the lesson. Ready? First, we have some questions with 3 options and you have to choose the correct option. The first question is, the continent of North America is linked to South America by, and the options are an isthmus, a strait or a canal. And the correct option is, yes, an isthmus. The second question is, the major constituent of atmosphere by percent is, and the options are nitrogen, oxygen or carbon dioxide. And the correct option is nitrogen. Very good. Let's move on to the next question. The domain of the earth consisting of solid rocks is, and the options are the atmosphere, the hydrosphere or the lithosphere. And the correct option is, yes, the lithosphere. Now the last question, which is the largest continent? And your options are Africa, Asia or Australia. And the correct option is, yes, Asia. Now let's move ahead. Here we have some questions which you have to answer in 1 or 2 words. And the first question is, which ocean is named after a country? And the answer is Indian Ocean, which is named after our country, India. The second question is, which longest river flows through Africa? And the answer is the Nile. The next question is, which is the smallest continent? And the answer is, yes, Australia. Let's move on to the next question. Which is the highest mountain peak on the earth? And the answer is Mount Everest. Very good. Now the last question. Which is the largest ocean? And the answer to this question is Pacific Ocean. Very good. With this, we come to the end of today's video. I'm sure you liked it and got to know a great deal about the various continents and oceans. You also learnt about the different layers of the atmosphere, their composition and various other properties. That's all for today. I'll be back with some more interesting videos. Till then, stay healthy, stay safe.